Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays! It's me, Santa, from your childhood. Or if you're still a child, it's me, Santa, from right now. Today I want to share with you some of my favorite holiday specials and stories. These are from me to you. The very first one is about a sad snowball who dreams of becoming a snowman. Once upon a time, there was a sad little snowball who would sit in the snow all day contemplating life and existence. All the sad little snowball wanted was to become a fully grown snow person. This snowball was raised by a snow mom and a snow dad in a beautiful igloo. The sad little snowball had plenty of friends who were chipper and full of happiness and full of joy. This made the sad little snowball not feel welcome and would run home all the time crying. His friends would run off to go on the sledding hill and he was far too nervous. They all had much more confidence and courage than he did, but he would still watch as they sled down the hill. He got so sad though, and he would go home and cry because he didn't have courage to go down the hill on his own. He would return to his igloo and tell his snow mom about what happened. His snow mama encouraged him to go back out there and try again, try to sled down that hill. So he would leave the igloo and go to find his friends. All of his friends had become much bigger now. They had started to grow and they started to mature more, and this made him sad and nervous. He told his mom about what happened, and she told him, if you ever want to get grown up like them, you have to keep trying. He would go back and they were gone. They must be on the snow hill, so he ran up to the snow hill to find that they weren't there. At the bottom of the hill were a bunch of snowmen now. What could have happened to all of his friends? Where did they go? He hoped that next day when he came back they would be all where he normally found them. But on the next day, the snow friends were still gone. Where could they have gone? He went back up to the top of the hill, and that's when he saw the Christmas star. He made a wish on the Christmas star and said, "Star, I want to have confidence to roll down the hill." And then just like that, he felt warmth and confidence to roll down the hill. As he rolled down the hill, he picked up more and more speed, hitting every hill and going faster and faster. There was loop-de-loops and he wasn't even scared anymore, and for a moment he felt some happiness and joy. And then he started picking up more and more snow, faster and faster, getting a bigger snowball, until then he landed on more snow, becoming not a sad little snowball, but a snow person. Wow, wasn't that heartfelt and sweet? I'm so happy that ended that way for that beautiful little snowball. Good job, little sad snowball. Now for our next story, we're going to follow Pete the penguin, a penguin who saves Christmas despite some adversity. Ho 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 ho.
Once upon a time, on a Christmas much like this, on a street much like yours, maybe down the street, there lived a hero who overcame all the odds in order to save Christmas. This hero was Pete. Pete the Penguin. Pete's a nice guy. He lives in a nice house on a nice street. He's got plenty of friends. Hey, looking good, Steve. He's got a nice box there, doesn't he? He lives in a beautiful yellow house with his super fine wife, Paige. Oh, but then all things are amiss when Santa flies by and drops his gifts. So Pete, being the hero that he is, pursued the bag of gifts that had fallen from the sleigh. He climbed over the hills, up the slippery ice. He took his time and then he raced over the hills, over the rivers, and through the woods. Not to grandmother's house, but to find a bag of missing presents. He climbed over the final hill. Could he do it? He did it! He stumbled upon a giant cave, and there were the gifts in a beautiful green bag. But what's this? Oh no! A wild dog came from the cave. Pete looked up in despair, in fear. Before he knew what was happening, Pete was taken unconscious and thrown into the cold snow, his feet dislocated from his body. The poor little penguin just sat there, dying in the snow. But when he was about to give up, he got an image of his smoking hot wife. That time they went to Maui, and it gave him the strength to go on. He had to make it home to Paige. He pulled his head up high and struggled through the cold snow. He used what little strength he had to pull himself. You can do it, Pete. We believe in you. As he slid down one of the slippery meadows, the snow hit his face. He was used to this climate, but he was bleeding out. Would he make it home, or would this be the end for Pete the Penguin? This journey seemed long on the way home. Before he had just been skipping along, never realizing the next time he'd be here, he'd be bleeding to his death. And just then, when all hope was lost, he stumbled upon a nice southern horse, who happened to have the ability to fly. As Pete dropped his head, dying with exhaustion, the southern horse Curly flew to his rescue. She was a bit unorthodox, but she was the angel to our hero. She flipped him into the air and took him off to his safety. And she had a little bit of gas. Paige looked out the window waiting for her husband, surprised to see the horse. His feet had been reattached, but he was going to have to go through rehab. He didn't do so well the next few nights. He didn't try, he didn't go for it. He just sat there looking at the window, watching as the night turned to day and the day turned to night. The snow kept falling as his sorrow kept growing. Night after night he just sat there, growing his beard. Finally Paige came to him. She was fed up with his attitude. She wanted him to get up off his butt, but he wouldn't. And then Curly came to him and reminded him, "Why did I save you? You're gonna make me flip my wig," and she did. That was just what Pete needed. He got back on those bars and started to walk. He pushed himself harder than anyone had ever been pushed. He was going to do it. He was going to regain his skill to walk. And just like that, after a vigorous rehabilitation, he walked for the first time on his own. This was such a big breakthrough for him. Both Curly and Paige's jaws dropped. Paige pulled off the bandages slowly. Anticipation was killing everyone. She pulled it harder and harder and slower and slower. She was surprised. Pete was surprised. They were as good as new. But he still stared out at the night sky, watching for something. Maybe a miracle, maybe a change. Paige started to worry about her husband. She walked out to him. She knew what was on his mind. Those gifts were still out there. He had lost his ability to walk, but she knew he was going to go back. He had to save Christmas. Santa had lost those gifts, and children waiting for those gifts. With her blessing, Pete decided to return back to the cave where he had lost the ability to walk. It was harder this time, but he was determined to do it. He climbed up the snowy path, and he kept going. But this time he was not alone. Curly came to his rescue and took him on her back. He would not have faced this monster alone. They ran through the hills, and over the rivers, and maybe through the woods. And there they were, and the monster was back. Curly was terrified. The dog was ready. He was terrified. But then, Pete got an idea. Fight! Miss! End him! KO! He reclaimed the bag of presents and jumped onto his flying friend's back. And they darted home. They ran down the hills and they ran past the mountains. They ran through the meadows and they were home. Paige was waiting there. She had financed a sleigh. Their credit was now bad, but it was worth it. He hooked up the horse and they flew away into the night to the North Pole to try to find Santa and return his gifts. It took them a long while, but they found him and returned his gifts, and Santa was very happy about that. Pete returned home to his smoking hot wife, and they had a beautiful Merry Christmas. As they embraced each other, as they hugged each other, and as they kissed each other. Kissed each other so sweetly. So sweetly that Santa blessed them with their own gift. And that is another story for another Christmas. So have a Merry Christmas from Pete the Penguin and family. Thank you, and to all a good night.
Wow, Pete, thanks for all your help. Santa really does appreciate it. And now for our next story, we're going to have a little story time about the time when Aunt Charlene came to stay. Ho ho ho. Let's see what kind of hijinks Charlene and the family get into. Ho ho ho.
So you know that moment after all the gifts are open, after all the excitement's kind of over, and you're just waiting for Christmas dinner, and you're just waiting, where your one cousin is smoking a cigarette. where your one aunt is drinking wine, even though she knows her blood pressure is going to rise because of it. Where your one aunt is sleeping on the couch watching Hallmark movies that no one else wants to watch. Where your one little cousin's going through all the boxes to make sure she didn't miss one of her gifts. Where your mom is rolling out dough to make some desserts for later. Where grandma's basting the turkey one last time to make sure it's juicy enough. Where everyone else is just playing on their phone, playing Candy Crush or some other game. When you look out the window and just hope for something, that just something exciting is about to happen because it's so boring. Well, that's when it all happened. That's the year it all changed. Bam! Aunt Charlene walked in. Aunt Charlene's the kind of aunt who wraps her gifts in golden taxidermy paper with a big green bow. Aunt Charlene's the kind of woman who always speeds in her car, but never gets a ticket. Aunt Charlene's the kind of woman who will party till 3 a.m. on Saturday night, but then make it to church at 10. Aunt Charlene's the kind who has a bunch of pets, like a dog, a flamingo, and even a giraffe. Aunt Charlene's the kind of woman who has 4 husbands who have all passed away under mysterious circumstances. Aunt Charlene's the kind who dates hot guys all the time. Aunt Charlene's the kind of woman who dates rich men. Aunt Charlene's dated an artist. Aunt Charlene's dated a detective. Aunt Charlene has dated a doctor. Aunt Charlene has dated a lady doctor. Aunt Charlene has dated a gunslinger. Aunt Charlene has dated a stay-at-home mom. Aunt Charlene has dated a homeless person. Aunt Charlene has dated a beautiful Swedish woman. Aunt Charlene has dated this guy. Aunt Charlene has dated a musician. Aunt Charlene has dated a politician. Aunt Charlene has dated a scarecrow. Aunt Charlene has dated this woman named Louise. Also, Aunt Charlene's the kind of woman who dabbled in the dark arts at one point. Aunt Charlene walked in with her many gift bags and dropped them on the floor. We were all in shock to see her. But then, we heard a noise come from the other room. We were all shocked. Everyone didn't know what it was. Who else could it be? What could it be? So, we obviously split up into 2 groups. Aunt Charlene led me and my group towards the bedroom, while everyone else went towards the kitchen. You won't believe what we saw. Everyone gasped in shock and awe. There were tons of coal monsters running around the house, destroying everything, knocking over stuff, dancing, jumping on the bed, causing all kinds of chaos. Even in the kitchen, they were shocked of what they saw. Something terrible, something unexpected, something unknown. More coal monsters. They were running around doing cartwheels and playing with the turkey, jumping up and down and acting crazy. Remember how I said Aunt Charlene had dealt with the dark arts? Well, during all of her journeys in the dark arts, she found herself in some strange places, including the North Pole with Santa, who she flirted with a lot. Mrs. Claus did not like that and cursed Aunt Charlene. She cursed Aunt Charlene to always have to be on the run from these terrible coal monsters. Aunt Charlene thought she'd escaped them, but they had found her now, all at my grandma's house on Christmas. They were causing damage and getting all crazy, and nobody knew what to do. But you know what? My family doesn't mess around. We don't deal with chaos well. We are ready to fight all the time. So you know what we did? We backed Aunt Charlene up. We were ready to kick some butt. My one aunt turned on her Hallmark movies in front of one of the coal monsters. The coal monster started to watch it, and he was so sad, so heartbroken, that he started to cry and then turned into dust. My aunt and uncle pulled on one of the coal monster's arms. They kept tugging until the arms broke off and the monster turned into dust. My mom took a rolling pin and started beating the coal monster until it turned into ash. My one aunt took her wine and threw it at the coal monster, getting wine all over it. And then my cousin lit the coal monster up with her cigarette, causing it to burst into flames. My dad punched one of the coal monsters. My little cousin kicked him in the arm. My other cousin punched it, and my uncle took his fist to the face of the monster. My one boy cousin kicked it. The other boy cousin punched it. And then my littlest cousin jumped up and down on the coal monster. My grandma was not having these coal monsters mess up dinner, so she chased the monster around and tried to catch it. Me and Aunt Charlene combined our magical powers and used it to lift all the monsters into the air. We were going to stop this once and for all with our joint magic powers. Just like that, we wiped all the coal monsters clean of our house. And then the bell went off and dinner was ready. That's how it all went the year Aunt Charlene came to stay. From my family to yours, Merry Christmas.
Well, wasn't that a lot of fun? I hope you enjoyed all my favorite Christmas specials from my house to yours. Ho ho ho. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Be kind to each other. Ho 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 ho.
You're watching J Markers Network. Get into it.
Queer, stop staring at me.
That was a bit racist, you tasteless shrew.
It makes me horny, and it makes me feel alive. For once,
I'm non-binary. I don't conform to being male or female.
Oh, ooh.
Bounce a quarter off of that ass. Damn.
Hey, don't do that.
When you get tired of playing with Blondie, here's my number.
I got mugged.
I do drag.
Just being drop dead sexy.
This is Jay. Jay's non-binary.
I'm non-binary.
This is Ace. He used to bully Jay.
Hey, don't do that.
Madison and Ace used to go out.
We're not getting back together.
Madison is Jay's cousin. 10 years later, will Jay be able to stand up to this childhood bully? It's time to grow up. Click, the animated series, only on J Markers Network.
I need food. Someone bring me food. All I have is that apple.
My Film School Diary, only on J Markers Network.
Film School Diary, my 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 Film School Diary.
Hi, I'm Craig T. Crabapple of Crabapple and Crabapple Law Firm, and I'm gonna get you paid. Have you been harassed by Horizon's ads? You know the one I'm talking about with that guy, Steve. Well, they made a mistake. We are filing a lawsuit against them for you. That's right. They said that they were making a phone line that lets you call your family from beyond the grave. I don't think so. That's crazy. What they did was open a vortex to the beyond. And that's not good for you or your family. That's right. They knew what they were doing when they sold your information and opened a vortex to hell. That's right. They know what they're doing. Steve knows what he's doing. We can get you big compensation if you call us now at Crabapple and Crabapple Law Firm. We don't contact the beyond. All we do is get paid. That's right. Big money for you because Horizon knew what they were doing. With that being said, Steve, I'm looking at you. Me, Craig T. Crabapple, with my fellow associates at Crabapple and Crabapple are coming for you. That's right, you. We're gonna take it all. Horizon, you're not gonna be able to take advantage of people anymore. They were mourning people and they were losing people. We want their money. We're gonna get it for them. That's right. Call Crabapple and Crabapple now to get your consultation about your compensation.
Spend your late nights with Spend your late nights with Creeper. Late Night Madness. Only on J Markers Network. Americans lose $70 million worth of change every year, and it's up to the Coinstar to find it. That is the whole plan of the game. You gotta always be looking for those coins. You cannot stop looking just because you didn't find none. They're out there. There is so much change that's unaccounted for every single year.
When we're out here Coinstar on the street, we gotta look in every crevice, look for all the possible places. I like to find places where people are probably hanging out, maybe in the shade.
JR is on the hunt for good coin. I was super excited when I got outside the electronics store and I saw a penny sitting there on the street. So we can make a quick buck.
I'm also wearing my protective gear because it's better to stay safe than holding a hot penny and burning yourself.
I do like to check out thrift stores because you never know what you're gonna find. One time I bought me a coat, I bought me a nice jacket to go to a prom or like a wedding or something, and I put my hand in the pocket, I found a dirty tissue. But then I put my hand in the other pocket and I found some coins. So yeah, I had a dirty tissue in one pocket, coins in the other. I saved the coins. I threw out the tissue. That was gross. With his helpful hints, he might just make that big jackpot. It's me, I'm the Coinstar. Let's get it. Coinstars, only on J Markers Network. You're watching J Markers Network. Get into it.